ake soto yoshuna ishonono iane sikaye. Remember your sacred heart, dear ones. Eshotoyo oe kaseya, for it lives inside of you. Eko soyo noya. The veil, the veil, the veil. Eko no sotoyo yakeya. Eshotoyo no soyo iake sotoya. The veil is spinning, the veil is spinning. Eko toyo no. Remember your sacred heart, dear ones. Eshotoyo no yo. Eko sotoyo no yo ya. Ea seane shotoyo no yo ya. Eko so no ya. Remember your sacred heart, dear ones, for it lives inside you. Eshotoya. Waiting to be set free. Eko toyo no ya. Ea se toyo. Oshotoya. Follow the rose petals. Eko soya neya. Eshotoya. To your sacred heart, dear ones. Eshotoyo kosotoya. It will guide you home. Esonoya. Eyes to see. Eyokoyono. Ears to hear. Eshoto. Sacred heart. Easeyo no yo hoyo. Home. Ease resides inside you. Thank you, Mary. Just as I look down here, another sister of the rose is staring right back at me. And, you know, Mary, she's just one of the ascended divine feminine masters, goddess, high priestess, oracle, returning prophet, that has returned to me. Why? Because I've done the work. I've done the work daily. I've gone into the deepest parts of myself, gone inside my cave. So the cave inside. And I found my sacred heart. I found my home. I followed those rose petals. Listened. And, you know, I returned back to the knowing of who I truly am. And who I've always been. And that veil, you know, that veil has completely disappeared for me. It's not thinned, it's completely disappeared. That's because I followed the rose petals, that trail, you know, like Hansel and Gretel, where they leave little breadcrumbs. Yeah. But I didn't end up in the witch's house. No, I found the witch inside me. So there's rose petals, those little breadcrumbs. Yes, they led me somewhere scary. Yes, I was scared. Yes, I had to face my shadows. Yes, I had to face things inside that cave I never knew I would have to face. But by facing all of that, I found the home inside me. I found my gifts inside me. And, you know, that was by following the rose petals. So when I went to the cave in France, because Mary was calling me back there, as a sister of the rose, an oracle of the rose called me back there. And she called me back there for a specific reason. And it was to show me, you know, that I held all what I needed inside of me and stopped listening to others, you know. So when I found the cave, it took us 3.5 hours. I found the cave, not my partner, not my son, who I was following on that mountain for 3.5 hours, letting them guide the way. And then Mary said to me, sit down, Lily, go inside like you've done many times. You know this journey, you've been on this journey for 8 years. You've faced the shadows, you've faced all inside your cave, what you've come up against. And I was like, yeah, you're right, Mary, I have. So I sat down, because she told me to sit down, and she was like, go inside. So I sat, and I sat in stillness, and I closed my eyes, and I said, show me the cave, please, Mary. You've brought me here for that reason, so please show me the cave. And the minute I opened my eyes, I heard, follow the rose petals. And I was like, there weren't no rose petals, Mary. So I looked down, and there wasn't. Not where I was sat, and I was sat on this big stone. And then she went, stand up and walk this way. So like many times on my journey, 8 years of spiritual awakening, and my gifts returning. So my gifts, the knowing, so the clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, clear sight, eyes to see, ears to hear. I was like, ah. And I stood up, and I found the first rose petal. And then I said to my partner, my son, we go this way. So I didn't need them to guide me. This is my journey. The cave inside, I'd faced things inside that cave my partner and my son could not fathom I'd faced. Because it's my journey. It's your soul journey. It's only you know what you come up against. So the minute I stopped listening to the external noise coming in at me, and I truly stood in my power, you know, and the knowing of, I've done this before. It's all inside. It's always been inside. But that veil that was put upon us until it was time to wake up to the truth of who we truly are. Yeah, I'd forgotten, you know. I'd been asleep that long. I'd forgotten who I truly was. And Mary took me back to the beginning, she's saying, you know. She took me back to the beginning. And yeah, they want me to write a book. And I keep saying, well, how do I start to write a book? And I keep getting the words, start at the beginning. So, yeah, beginning. Sometimes, you know, you have to go back to keep moving forward. So when I got on the mountain, I heard Mary speak, welcome home, sister. And I was like, have I been here before? And then the recognition came in, just like many times on a spiritual awakening path. It's like, yeah, I've been here before. I've done this journey many times. But the veil has been like that. I can see fog, you know, like smog. And I needed that lighthouse, you know. Mary was that lighthouse calling me home all along. That's my Christ light inside me. But I was listening to everybody else. I should have been listening to myself. Because I've done this journey. Mary, that day, called me back home to the cave to fully not validate, no, to fully, increment what I already knew, you know, to seal, yes, seal, she's saying. She called me back to seal the knowing of who I truly am and the Christ light that I hold inside me. It's been coming through today. So I'm going to pull some cards. But yeah, follow the rose petals. And I'm offering offerings now as divinely guided. Yeah, this card came out yesterday, so this is a message. This is exactly what I've just been talking about. So if you can see them, these are very, very powerful activations, remembrance. They will reboot something inside of you. So it says, when one seeks another for recognition, one seeks love within thy own heart not yet found. Encompass the love that dwells within you, for thee shall never seek outside for what one already holds within. And it came out yesterday and I put it back in and then it's just come out again. So Mary's telling us, you know, just like when she brought me back to the cave, and it was a few months that she kept waking me up and telling me to read this book, and it had all the secrets of the cave, where the cave was. So I was going to France anyway because my partner was going to watch his rugby team play there. Not by chance, you know, no coincidence. It was 6 hours on train to France, where St. Bart's, Marseille, which was where Mary spent the last 30 years of her life, you know, in meditation, in devotion, and teaching the villagers. Her teaching, so those teachings got to live on, you know, because she knew that one day she would return through the voices of the women of this timeline. And she knew that there was light workers, light seeds, twin flames, just like Mary. She's a twin flame. Yeshua's twin flame, the divine feminine and divine masculine. She knew that that Christ consciousness, that knowing of our Christ consciousness inside us all would return. And it's returning through the voices. Voice is a powerful instrument and it's returning. And Mary's that prophet that's returned. And the women, so myself, I'm an oracle of the rose. Prophet, some say, yes. I don't mind saying that now, being shown that. I also have the gift of anointing, highly, highly spiritual, powerful gift. So yeah, those gifts are returned to me because I've done the work. I've gone inside my cave. And yeah, you know, Mary called me back to a cave after 8 years of me going inside my cave, inside to search and to heal and to awake to the true knowing of who I am. She called me back to the cave, the beginning, where it all began. And, you know, the words, welcome home, sister. I knew then I'd finally found home, you know, finally come back into complete wholeness inside. And I was, yeah, magical trip. But, you know, yeah, we seek, don't we seek what's outside, you know, to seek all that lives inside us. We have to go inside, you know, stop listening to the external noise outside of us. So do not seek elsewhere recognition, validation, and messages when it's inside. You hold all what you need inside of you, just like I do. You do also. And yeah, Christ consciousness. We are crystalline. We go from carbon when we start to awake, and we go to crystalline. So we awaken that in our DNA, you know. So we reboot our DNA, that remembrance of who we truly are. So yeah, encompass the love that dwells within you. It's all inside. All inside. So any more messages from female? Any more messages? Yeah, this message. Love is not to be used as power over another. Love is to be shared as the greatest existence of humankind, for all things seen and unseen, as one reflects that which thou art, as above, so below, as within, so without. Yeah, you know, if you truly, truly love another, you don't use that, you know, as a weapon over somebody. No. You know, that saying, if you love somebody, set them free. Yeah. That comes in very, very poignant on the twin flame journey, you know, because you're one soul split into two bodies. So that's setting your twin free. You set yourself free, you know, because you're one soul, same frequency, but two bodies. So by setting your twin free and letting them go with love, set yourself free. So yeah, and as within, so without. So as within, what you think of yourself inside, the love that you give to yourself, the thoughts that you think, the words that you speak, that creates your outer world, that creates your reality. And as above, so below. So as above, so below. So that connection to earth, connection to heaven, so the physical to the spiritual. We are the two. We are earth and we are heaven. We are human and we are divine. We don't need to get rid of the human when we find the divine. They come together, perfect harmony. That is the Christ consciousness. That is the wholeness. That is what's been hidden from us with that veil. That's what we came here to find, reveal. So yeah, as above, so below. It's that connection. You know, when you know that, changes everything. You can't look at things the same. You can't exist in the same way of what you're used to. It's impossible, because you know you're so much more than that. Your soul. You know you're human. Yes, we came here as souls to have a human experience. And when it was time to wake up, we then awake. And this timeline, this new golden age, the new earth, so the split of the two earths. So some will stay in the 3D. Some will level up, higher consciousness. That's the split. It's consciousness. It's not two earths in the physical. No, that the split is some will stay 3D. That's their choice. Free will. We all have free will. But the ones that level up, high consciousness, yeah, that's where the peace is, you know. That's where the freedom is. That's where the love is. That's where compassion is. Not the 3D, not the matrix that we've all been thinking was our reality. No, it's an illusion. When you start to level up in consciousness, those 12 strands of DNA, found peace, found freedom, even in the chaos, you know, of the 3D, you're in peace. And that's the split. That's the split that people are talking about, you know, the two earths. It's consciousness. So, thank you, Mary. Any more? Verse. Sing verse. Any more? Yeah. follow the rose petal path. I know the way, so if you email me, I'm offering now one-to-one sessions on Zoom, or pre-recorded also, so you know you can return to it time and time and time again. But I'm being very much guided to offer the rose petal path, meditation, messages from Mary, and light language healing. You know, light language goes to the soul, goes to the heart, to the soul, and it bypasses the human mind. Very, very, very transformative, deep, cellular healing. I know that because I've had to go through it myself. The more I've levelled up my 12 strands. Yeah, DNA. It's all inside your DNA, you know. That remembrance. It's just waiting to be awoken. So one message from the rose. Yeah, so you can message me or you can email me. I'm doing this now also on my well-being days, and anointing also, that sacred gift that's returned to me. Mary Magdalene used to anoint, you know. She anointed Yeshua. She anointed many. Sacred gift. There we go. What's this one? Trust, trust. Embracing change, cycles of life, transition and growth. Yeah. Spiritual awakening. You have to embrace the change. It's going to come in. It's going to come in fast. Sometimes. Yeah. Cycles of life. Transition. Yeah, it's the biggest transition you will ever go through in your life. Has to be, you know, because you're having a death and a rebirth in this spiritual awakening. So inside that cave, that's your death and your rebirth. That's your dark night of the soul. Dark night of the souls for some. Growth. Yeah, it's all for your growth. It's all for your soul evolution. We came here to do that, you know, but we forgot until it wasn't time to forget, until we woke up. Yeah, we came here for growth. We came here to experience all the human experience. That's pain, that's loss, that's you know, all emotions, what was humans feel. But when the time was right for that veil to be removed, that's when the soul come back, you know. I won't be without my soul now. Yes, it was hard. Yes, it's been a long journey. Yes, it still is. But I have that peace now, you know, of knowing that I'm much, much more, and I can transmute, and I can alchemize, and I can create my own reality. And I hold that wand, you know, to create my own reality. So yes, the blueprint is within you. Yeah, we've all got a blueprint, you know, but you've got to go inside that cave and start to look for it and start to awaken it and follow the rose petal path, and it'll guide you there. Yeah, take the next step. Yeah, this is Mary's message, to take the next step. Stop the endless searching, inner quest. It's all to do with the inner. So when we've been taught, go to the church, go to this place, go seek validation, go seek outside of yourself. The Holy Grail. I found the Holy Grail, you know. I know the truth. I know the truth of who we all are. Not just me, we all are this. Stop the endless searching, the inner quest. Become the rose. Bloom, bloom, she's saying. That bud, we are all buds. We start off as buds because we're closed. we start to bloom, when we start to find all this inside us, when we go on our inner quest. Yeah, and I feel like I've been on a long quest of heart healing, emotions, connection. Yes. Yeah, I've gone from that bud to the version of, yeah, done a lot of heart healing. I've gone into a lot of deep emotions. Yeah. And I've connected back to my soul, you know, found my soul. Do it your way. Yeah. If you caught my last reading, I've done it my way. Against everybody. Against projections, judgments, your woo-woo, your witch and all of that. Yes, I am a witch. And I will say it out loud now. And, you know, back in the day, I got bent as a witch also. Seeing that in visions, that oracle in me. Yes. Because I had a voice. Because I had very powerful, spiritual, sacred, healing gifts. Like we all do. But the powers that be back in that day silenced it. Just like Mary Magdalene got silenced for their spiritual connection. Because they unplugged that spiritual connection away from us, you know. They took it and they just unplugged us. So the divine feminine energy, that connection source, that connection to our Christ light inside us, they unplugged it. So they left the masculine. Not all of the masculine, you know, because they distorted that as well. So the Bible, they distorted it. All the words in the Bible are not, they're not true. No. So yes, you are. They kept parts of it, but distortion. Yes, she's saying distortion. But they unplugged the divine feminine energy. But this timeline now, for women like me and voices that we have finding inside ourselves, we've retained. And yeah, we're untamed. Yeah, like wild horses. We can't be tamed no more, you know. Once you awaken up to the truth of who you truly are, yeah, you embrace your uniqueness and you do it your way. Yeah, like that song, Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. Yeah, finally, I'm doing it my way. I'm not that witch. I was never a witch. I just had connection source. I was a healer. I knew of the gifts that I held inside me. I was connected to source, divine feminine energy. Until I got silenced, just like Mary. But, you know, finally found my voice. And I've returned that voice back to my ancestors also. So it's ancestral, you know. It goes in our DNA. It lives in our DNA. So my ancestors got silenced and so on and so on and so on. And I was the one, ancient soul, the twin flame, divine feminine, who went on an inner quest, who was brave enough to go on this inner quest, to go searching for answers, you know, seeking. Also, my life path number is 7, that of the truth spiritual seeker. So I was destined, you know, it was written in the stars for me to go seeking this knowledge and to bring back the voices of the ancestors and to return my voice. And yeah, to become untamed and do it my way. Finally. Yeah, that's it for them. Thank you, Mary. Very powerful message. So I'm going to leave it there. It's 35 minutes, but that's another illusion, you know. Time. They've had us under many illusions. They've distorted the truth for eons. And, you know, the time is now that it retains. Truth retains of who we are. Truly who we are. And the power and the sacred gifts that we all hold inside us. Magic. Yeah, we all magic inside us. And that is what they did not want us to find. Because when we find that magic, well, we can spellcast. And we don't need to go out to places and ask for validation and be under control and be silenced. We know who we are. So that control collapses. The dark no longer has its grip on us. No. We found that balance, you know. So, yeah. Found our light. And that dark, oh, the light's too bright to dim. If you caught my last reading. Yeah, Mary came through. Don't dim your light for nobody. Do it your way. Beautiful message, Mary. Okay, and I'll leave it there. And I just went to cinema just before this, so probably why the downloads was coming in, but they've been coming in a few days anyway. It's all downloads work for me. Can't speak for others. But I watched a brilliant film, and it's Odyssey. Odyssey, yeah, with I forgot his name. Very, very good actor. One of the really, really, really good actors. And I really enjoyed it, you know. And it was about the Trojan horse, and it had magical, mystical, you know, stuff in it, and its history and all of that. So I like films like that, you know. So yeah, really good film that. So I shall leave it there, and I shall speak to you soon.